Hey, yo, what is going on with the viewers of the tube? So, as we all know, AMP is getting more and more exposure on a daily basis. Now, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Let's examine both sides as we head into today's daily analysis. So hopping right into it, taking a look at AMP on CoinGecko.com, we can see that we are currently up 6.8%. And we've been floating in between this 0.065 to 0.072 range over the last 24 hours. Now let's head on over to Etherscan to see how many new holders we have today. So currently, right now, we are up 0.798% in terms of the growth of daily holders. And we have a little over 30,000. So we're pushing to get to the 31,000 range, currently sitting at 30,846 new holders. Let's see how many new holders that is from yesterday. So it looks like we have a little over 300 new holders from yesterday. Yesterday, we had 30,585. Today we had 30,846. So pushing past, the average 200 new holders. But, that's also pretty interesting. And I want to give a warm welcome to all of the new members holding the Ant Bag. Make sure that you take your time and do your due diligence to really understand how universal this token and protocol really is. So without further ado, let's hop right into our charts. So we can talk about the technicals. So on the daily chart, we can see that, yesterday we had a low of 0.061, as we said was possible. And if you had a buy order at that level, which is not financial advice, you should pretty much be in good standing. We also closed yesterday at 0.068. And today we're actually looking to go a little higher, right? We're pushing past the 7 cents mark. Looking to get right to our previous resistance zone at 0.078. And also the interesting thing about today's daily candle is that, we are far above from the Fib 0.618 extension level, right? So we're floating sort of like right in the upper quartile of it, looking to get above the Fib point 0.5, which is the next Fibonacci extension level, right? This is also pretty interesting because this is exactly what we want. We don't want to go up too fast. We want to move nice and steady. So that's what we have on the daily chart. Now let's take a look at the 4 hour. So as you guys can see, we broke right out of this bull flag pretty early, and now we're moving sideways. And even if we use the Fibonacci retracement on the 4 hour from the time of this impulse to where we are right now to the high of 9 cents, we're also sitting right on the Fib 618, right? And we're looking to get above the next Fib level, which is the Fib point 0.5. Looks like currently right now we expand this just a little bit. We are slightly above it, right? So again, the ant market definitely wants to get above this next Fib retracement level. So we can potentially go to retest our previous high of 9 cents before retesting our all-time high of 12 cents. And again, this sideways movement is exactly what we want to see, mainly because AMP is not meant to be a high volatile asset. It's meant to be price stabilized, right? As a collateral token and a collateral smart contract, you don't want to have a lot of high volatility in your price of the asset, right? This is not something that merchants want. This is not something that businesses or consumers want. You want the price of that collateral to be stable. So that way, when transactions do process, there's no fluctuations in the outcome of that transaction, right? So that is what we have going on with the 4 hour. And also, just one last thing to note that when we do see this sideways movement, that's letting us know that AMP is looking to stabilize, right? And that's exactly what we want. So hopping right into the 1 hour, last but not least, we can see, this beautiful bull flag that AMP was respecting, right? And this is exactly again what we want to see. We want to see, AMP respecting the technicals, and for markets that do respect technicals from a TA perspective, that's letting us know that although there's new holders inside of the market, that manipulation isn't really going on, right? When markets typically don't respect technical analysis or chart formations or patterns, that is an indication that there's some sort of market manipulation going on. But AMP has been respecting its technicals with respect to Bitcoin's price movement for a very, very long time. And it's also letting us know that the whales are definitely here for the long run and ultimately riding the wave with us. So, that's what we have going on with AMP on the technicals. And let's take a look at Bitcoin last but not least, right? So I think with Bitcoin, we are seeing pretty much one of the healthiest recoveries that I've seen in a really, really long time, right? I say it time and time again. We don't want to go up too fast because there's a possibility that we may come down and crash, right? And now you can think of it that way. If we go up fast, we're going to crash. And we've seen it time and time again. We've seen it with Bitcoin going from $900 all the way up to 20K. We had a crash then. We've seen it, with Bitcoin going from 20K to 64K, right? We pulled back 50% and came all the way down to, the 30K range, right? So we don't want to move in that way anymore. And it looks like we are having, one of the healthiest recoveries that I've seen in a very, very long time. And I say that because, we've been flipping previous resistance zones into support in a nice and steady fashion, right? We're not going up crazy fast. We're respecting these resistance zones, and we're also using time to build up buying pressure so that way we can break through, the resistance zones. And currently, right now, taking a look at Bitcoin on the 4 hour, we do have a resistance zone at the 40K mark. So, if we can manage to, utilize time again to build up more buying pressure, once we do break past this 40K resistance zone, then our next target would be the 43.3K level, right? And that's for Bitcoin. And we all know as Bitcoin moves, the rest of the market will pretty much move with it. Now, that's what we have going on with Bitcoin. But before we, in today's session, I do want to, just sort of highlight what some of you may not have known, but 2 hours ago, Binance US announced that, AMP will be listed tomorrow. Now, I know for some of you guys, you may be overly excited about this, but again, we have to examine the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We have to talk about the elephants in the room with this. Now, the good thing about this is that, of course, we want AMP to be listed on Binance, right? Um, Binance US is fully compliant with US regulations. And, for US traders who aren't using Coinbase or who don't necessarily like to use DeFi exchanges like Uniswap, this is a prime opportunity for them to get a hold of AMP, right? So we're creating great exposure for new traders and new investors to purchase AMP from the open market, right? Now, the bad thing about this news, in my personal opinion, is that we don't know how this will impact price, right? We don't know if whales and AMP's market will take this as an opportunity to sell and take profits, since there is a bunch of liquidity on Binance US website, right? This exchange has massive liquidity. We don't know if the ant wills will take this as an opportunity. Now, the elephant in the room, right? The ugly is that Binance is currently under investigation and they've been under investigation from US authorities ever since March, right? And if you take a look at Chico Crypto's video yesterday, right? He actually did talk about, some of the things that Binance has been doing for a very, very, very long time. But yeah, he actually does talk about, what Binance has been doing that's non-compliant since its exchange went live. In addition to, what they've been doing to sort of cover up all of the non-compliant things that they've been doing, right? Now, the issue with this investigation is that we don't know if Binance and Binance US shares the same liquidity pools or order books, right? Now, if they do, that wouldn't be a good thing. If Binance goes down after this investigation, then in my personal opinion, I think every asset that they have custody of, including the assets on Binance US, could possibly go down with it. Now, we have to do a little bit more due diligence, and we also have to dig deeper to see if Binance and Binance US shares the same liquidity pools. My hope is that they don't, but if they do, this wouldn't be good for Ant nor any other cryptocurrency that Binance has custody of. So, that's what I wanted to leave you guys all with a thought for. And for anybody that has the answer to that, feel free to, drop the answer in the comments with the link, of course, right? We don't want speculation. We want to verify things, right? So, if you guys like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you want to donate to support the channel, I have my Bitcoin and Ethereum address inside of the video description below. So until tomorrow, DTA is out.